My name is Adam Terlson. This talk is just a fragment, especially the demo, of the talk that I gave last week at Code Freeze. So if you want more information afterwards, I have a link for you. So yeah, agentic state machines. So this talk is based on some exploration that I did, rejecting all of those hip new technologies that Justin was talking about for building agentic systems, and actually reached back to 1950s technology called the finite state machine, and wondered, well, what would happen if I used the state machine to orchestrate requests across multiple LLMs? And so this presentation is presenting various patterns that I developed with the state machine that are kind of common in agentic systems. So 30 seconds, what is a finite state machine? Well, it's a system that models a process or like a long-running procedure as a series of states and transitions between those states. So it has state definitions where you're mapping all of the possible states that your system can be in declaratively. You're capturing the transition logic, so modeling events and how the system moves from one state to the next. Those transitions can have guards, so you can apply conditional logic to ensure that all of your transitions are valid. You can model actions and effects attached to those transitions, including when you enter or leave a particular state. And underneath all of it, you have contextual data, the data model that's underpinning this process, a collection of data that you can use to make decisions in the flow. So when talking about agents, sometimes it's helpful to draw a distinction between different types of agents that can be or that exist. So the dimension that I chose here is autonomy. So how big is this agent? How broad of a mission can it accomplish? How many tools does it have access to? Does it work alone or part of a team? So in the demo here, I'll present first tool use, where an agent is given access to various functions or methods, and it has the opportunity to invoke them. Next up is feedback, putting two agents together in direct collaboration where one agent is producing some outcome or output, which is input to the next agent, which gives that first agent feedback on how it can improve, and that can work as a loop to improve your output. Next is collaboration. So maybe I don't have two agents, I have a whole team. Maybe I'm stepping between a whole bunch of them, maybe I'm bouncing between two and then some others. So you can have a whole collaborative workflow of agents. Next up, agentic orchestration. So orchestration is where you have a single agent or multiple agents that are actually directing the next step in the flow, rather than it being a predetermined series of turns. And finally, I have one that I had to just make up because I couldn't find anything about it, which I call agentic chartering. So chartering is where, in fact, the entire state chart can be generated by the LLM, which is then used as a process to define how that agent will operate. So this could be helpful if the goal changes or the context changes and it needs to kind of create a new version of its process. All right, so to hopefully bring this to life, I have a demo which I called Red versus Blue, because one of the wonderful things about state machines is that they have significant advantages to the operator. They're declarative, they're predictable, they're observable, they're auditable. You can do something called like time travel, for example. So even if your current state is obliterated, you can replay the full log of events and recalculate where you are and take a new branch of history even. So the advantages go on. So red versus blue is about the red team, the external people who can invoke agents. So I have the example of an agent that I'm telling to write a recipe for tacos, and we can watch that process happen in real time, where it's accessing tools, getting the response from the tool, which tells it what ingredients are on hand, and it's using that to inform the recipe that it writes. I can inject human in the loop. So here's tool approval, where I have a step in my workflow where I require my operator to type approve or deny. So I'll deny that. And, oh, it came back. Okay, yeah, it's persistent, thank you. So I'll type approve this time. It got its approval, and you can see what the customer sees. It's just the output and some like updates, but the operator has information about every single state transition, every single event in the system, can watch the process live. It's totally observable. Okay, we're blasting through. I'm gonna skip collaboration. I don't know how much time I'm at. I'm gonna go to orchestration. So here I have a process which is like a whole meal delivery process. So we're like generating the recipe, we're procuring ingredients, we're going on to preparing the meal, then we're gonna get feedback from the customer, and it's the LLM that is actually directing this next state. You can see it kind of bounce back and forth between the planning node that's microscopic, but that's the one up there that it keeps going back to. That's the one that's saying, okay, now you should go here. So all of those child states are basically registered as tools that it can select from. All right, so time, what's my time?
2.
Perfect. So where is this chart heading? Where are we going with this? And I think the answer is emergence. So I have one more demo, and gosh, I hope it works. So, so I'm gonna start a session. This agent is in fact not just one agent, but every single state that this agent is in represents a child agent, a child process. All right, it's not loading, refresh, go. So this is using a product called HeyGen, where you can create live streaming avatars, and you can tell that avatar what to say. And it is not loading. There it goes. All right, so I'll say my leg hurts. So it's reasoning, it's talking. This is where it's doing orchestration. It's saying, where do I need to go? Okay, let's bring back some research.
Stabbing, throbbing sensations, or numbness.
Okay. Make me a health plan. You can imagine that the solutioning step integrates with traditional services. This is a state machine. We could call out to our traditional APIs. We could have human in the loop all through this process. And it's all completely transparent to the customer. I'll just say goodbye. So finally, it should close the session and say goodbye.
I understand you're saying goodbye after.
So it summarizes. I told it to summarize before it quits. So, all right, that's it. Oh, price in the corner. Super easy to track how much time we're not in the ready state and bill by the minute.